Let us understand how to solve each equation for the indicated variable. We'll basically try to isolate the indicated variable. So we have three different questions here, right? So let me mark them. So this is the first one. Amount equals to principal plus interest. A equals to P plus I. We need to find the value for P, or rather isolate P from this equation, which is the principal amount. The second one is interest equals to P times R times T. Principal, rate and time. So that is, here we need to isolate the variable P. The third equation is combination of these two. We have amount equals to principal plus, instead of interest we are writing PRT, right? And we have to isolate for T in this particular equation, right? So let's do one by one. So in the very first one we want to isolate P. So the equation given to us is A equals to P plus I. Now since we need to find what P is, we have to take away I from both sides. So we can say amount minus interest equals to principal plus amount minus interest. So we kind of did the same operation on both sides, and the operation is to take away interest I from both the sides. So we're left with A minus I equals to principal, since I minus I is 0. So we have now isolated from this particular equation the indicated variable P, which stands for principal. So P is equals to A amount minus interest. Okay, I hope the steps are absolutely clear. Now here we had sum of two numbers, two variables I should say, and we did the opposite operation, which is difference. Now let's look into the next example. It says interest is equals to principal times rate times time. We need to isolate P, that means we have to get rid of rate and time. Now these are being multiplied to P, so what should we do? Reciprocal of multiplication is division. So we'll multiply both sides by R and T. That is to say, we can write I divided by R times T equals to P times R times T divided by R times T. Now R and T cancel out, so we get P equals to I divided by R times T, right? So we get our equation, principal equals to interest divided by rate times time. Okay, so I hope the steps are absolutely clear to you. Let me just draw lines to separate them out. Okay, let's do the last one, which is amount equals to principal plus PRT. So basically what we've done here is just combine these two equations. Amount equals to principal plus I is PRT, so we wrote I as PRT here, getting the third equation. To isolate for time, we need to subtract P, and then we'll divide by PR. So what you observe here is that we do reciprocal of order of operation. Okay, so the first step here is to take away P. So it is A minus P equals to P plus PRT minus P. We are trying to isolate time, T. So we get A minus P equals to P minus P is 0, left with P times R times T. So if no operator is given in between, it means multiplication. To isolate for time, we need to divide by P and R. So we get A minus P divided by P times R equals to P times R times T divided by P times R. They cancel out and we are left with time T equals to A minus P divided by P times R. Or we can write T equals to A minus P divided by P times R. So that is how we can isolate for the variable T in this case. So let us review how did we really isolate the given variable. In the first case it was addition, so we did subtraction of interest from both the sides and isolated P. In the second case it was multiplication of P with R and T. We divided both sides by R and T to isolate P, the principal amount. In the third case we wanted to find time. So here we had both the things. So first we did take away and then we divide. So normally when we are isolating, we are doing reverse operations. Even the order of operations are reversed. So first you do addition, subtraction, and then you do multiplication and division to isolate your variable. I'm Anil Kumar, and I hope with this all the concepts about isolating indicated variable are clear to you. Thank you and all the best.